Our traumatic experiences happen in the times that they do, in the places that we are in our life for a reason. These traumatic experiences bring us closer to individuals in our lives and to God as well. They help us to find new people who have similar trauma and help us to come together and learn from each other. Traumatic experiences bring people together and bring you closer to God. You will find God through these traumatic experiences if you haven't found Him already. Most people, when they go through traumatic experiences, their first thing is to pray. And they just say, please, Lord Jesus, help me. But the way that you strengthen this relationship with God through this traumatic experiences is you continuously pray. And you keep on praying to Him and keep on asking Him for His help. And you keep on serving the Lord. And He will help you to get through this experience. He will help you to not feel this trauma as much, but you also have to do your job as well. I look at this as a rock climbing wall, right? So you're climbing up this wall, you have this support, which is the Lord. I've spoken about this before, and I'll keep on bringing up the rock climbing method, the rock climbing wall. Think as the Lord as your support. He's your support. He's there to help you. He's there to lift you up. But if you don't do your job and also climb the wall, He can't help you. So, with all that being said, I say all this to say, you utilize the Lord in this way. Ask Him to serve you, and ask Him to help you and to make you become a lot better. So, if you've ever been through a traumatic experience, you know that learning from this experience is something that we all need to do. And the reason being is so that history doesn't repeat itself. You don't go through something similar to that. You learn your lessons from this experience. You learn what you could have done. The way that I look at these traumatic experiences, and when bad things happen to me, I always take full accountability and say that this thing happened to me because there was something that I could have done. Something that I could have done to avoid this, and I didn't do that. So it happened to me for a reason. This is how you grow and learn as an individual and a person. You have to take full responsibility and accountability as a man and say, this happened to me for a reason, and it happened to me because I wasn't paying attention. The importance is that you learn from this experience and you reflect on where you went wrong. So I'll just give an example of one time where I was smoking weed, and I had a cart, dab cartridge, one of the little carts like this, a West Coast cart, and I was smoking. I was on a trip, I was on vacation, and I was smoking the dab cart. And I think that this kind of vacation was stressing me out because I knew that after this I would be having to get into the swing of things of school, because this was right around the time when I was starting college. So I was a little bit stressed out, meaning I was smoking excessively. And it was nighttime, maybe like 12 a.m. I'm up doing something, whatever, I don't know what it was, and I'm just hitting the cart. And I hit it one time, and I just remember standing up. I had a bunch of things on my lap, like some Cheerios, maybe like a cup or something, a spoon, and I stood up and everything just fell all over the floor. And I felt like I was out of body, like I couldn't control my own body, and I hate feeling like this. I felt restricted. I felt like I wasn't in control of my body. Something was controlling me. And I stood up and I went to the bathroom. After going to the bathroom and shutting the door, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I didn't look like me. I looked like someone completely different who wasn't me. I just looked just like a junkie or like a fiend. Like I looked like someone who was on drugs for years. This is how like I was viewing myself. And I started talking to myself, and I started saying a few things that, were bad about myself. And I started saying that I was addicted to this and telling myself these bad things. And then I remember going to the bathroom and then leaving. And after that, I don't really remember what ended up happening. I think I just tried to go back to sleep, and I just remember talking to myself before I went to sleep, just sitting on the edge of my bed, kind of just like rocking, just talking to myself. And this sounds like a made-up story. People probably won't believe this, but this is the truth. So, did that. I think I went to sleep after that, right? Then, after all that said and done, I don't really remember much of what happened after that, the rest of the trip. I don't even remember the rest of the trip. It was all just a blur to me. But the crazy thing was, even after this experience, I didn't stop smoking. So that experience happened to me. It kind of changed me in a way. I looked at life a little bit differently. And I had another similar experience where I felt like something was controlling me, like I was in a trance and I was hearing things, voices telling me things. And even after that, I didn't stop smoking. And it was around this time, though, that it was around this time where I stopped buying cartridges and I switched over to bud. This was probably the most smart thing I've ever done in my life. This was the best decision I ever made, for the simple fact that after I lost that access to being able to get high that easily, that fast, that much, it stopped completely. All these visions, all this stuff, my life started to slowly get better. And then a few months after smoking the bud, I quit. Why? Because I lost that access to being able to smoke. Now, I'm gonna owe all this credit to my boy E. We were talking in the stream, and this is why you should join the stream. He was telling me about how he had a similar experience with alcohol, and he said once he lost that access, he gained full control, and I felt was the same thing for me, and it's like, to stop that addiction, you have to completely cut out that access. It can't be as accessible to you so easily. And for weed heads, people who smoke, I would say get rid of the carts and just switch over to straight bud, because that's what helped me stop. Once I had to stop, once I had to start leaving my house to go get weed I have to leave my house to go smoke. Once all that stopped, I was in complete control. But because I had this little cart before and I could just hit it in my room all day, I was turning into something that I didn't want to be, and it was taking control of my life. So with all that being said, I truly think this experience made me tapped in with my subconscious, and it helped me to learn what this was, and you learn from these traumatic experiences. And I say all this to say that traumatic experience brought me and this person together in the stream, my boy E. It brought us together, and we were able to talk about God and things of that nature, and how he works in these mystical ways. He's able to shine a light on these traumatic experiences and help us to learn together. And that's exactly what we did. I taught him some things, he taught me some things. Mostly he helped me realize a lot of stuff in that stream, and I give all that credit of just knowing this knowledge now to him, because he taught me a lot. So thank you to him for teaching me that and helping me to see that that's what it was. The excess. The access is what I had to cut off. The Lord works in mysterious ways. Everything that happens to you happens at the time that it does for a reason. You meet people in your life at the times that you do for a reason as well. They're there to teach you a lesson. With all that being said, follow God and continuously walk in his light and his path, and he will lead you right to where you want to go. It's been your boy Risk Taker, guys. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Sorry for the inconsistency. I've been working on this streaming stuff, and I've been also building up this streaming room. But with all that being said, y'all will see me in the next video very, very soon.